into income. One decision, one bold move. My dream hour. One brilliant hour. My plans have purpose. My schedule has power. I craft my life.
Good morning, passionpreneurs. It's Plansational Sunday. Before the week begins, we pause with purpose. We don't just hope for a better week, we plan for one. The sun is rising, my dreams are calling. Coffee in my cup and my purpose is talking. I open my planner, I breathe and believe this week has blessings waiting on me. No more rushing, no more delay. I'm taking my power back today with every goal and every line. I'm building my business one block at a time. I don't move by pressure, I move by design. I don't waste my moments, I honor my time. My vision is clear, my focus is strong. This is the week I've been waiting on. I am the architect of my time. With every hour I build my dream. My plans have purpose, my schedule has power. I'm crafting my life, one brilliant hour. One line decision, one bold move, one faithful step. I've got something to prove. I rise, I plan, I build, I shine. Plansational Sunday. This week is mine. I'm not just busy, I'm moving with grace. Making room for profit, peace and space. My business is growing, my mindset is new. I'm showing up for what I'm called to do. Emails, content, clients and sales. I've got a plan so I cannot fail. Even when life tries to pull me away, I come back to purpose and plan my day. Under pressure, I move by design. I don't waste my moments, I honor my time. My vision is clear, my focus is strong. This is the week I've been waiting on. I am the architect of my time. Every hour I build my dream. My plans have purpose, my schedule has power. I'm crafting my life, one brilliant hour. One line decision, one bold move, one faithful step. I've got something to prove. I rise, I plan, I build, I shine. Plansational Sunday. This week is mine. What are we doing this week? Borrowing wealth in this week. Moving with power. What are we building this week? Dreams into income. One decision, one bold move. My dream hour. One brilliant hour. My plans have purpose, my schedule has power. I craft my life, one brilliant hour. My time is aligned, my dream is alive. This week I rise, this week I thrive. I am the architect of my time. With every hour I build my dream. My plans have purpose, my schedule has power. I'm crafting my life, one brilliant hour. One line decision, one bold move, one faithful step. I got something to prove. I rise, I plan, I build, I shine. Plansational Sunday. This week it works. So grab your planner, grab your vision, grab your coffee, and let's plan with purpose. This is Plansational Sunday. And this week,
Good morning, and happy Plansational Sunday. I am so happy to be back here with you guys again. If you are watching this live, hashtag live in the comments. If you're watching this on replay, hashtag replay. I am going to have you guys run real quick as I am introducing and setting up what we're going to talk about this week. And grab a notebook, grab your planner, whatever you need, grab your coffee, because this one is definitely going to be a hands-on Plansational Sunday. Okay, why? If you have read the title of this or read the caption of this, I am going to lay into part-time entrepreneurs versus full-time entrepreneurs. Like, we always want to be that full-time entrepreneur. We dream of the day that we could do our business full-time. We don't have to go to that 9 to 5 job, or we would go there like half a day and do our business the rest of the day. But before we get into you being a full-time entrepreneur, if you're not already, or if you're already a full-time entrepreneur and you're wondering why the money is just not being made, this is going to be the Plansational Sunday for you. So every week, before we even start writing down appointments, meetings, errands, deadlines, and all the things pulling us in these different ways, we want to pause. I want you guys to take a deep breath. I know on Plansational Sunday, we're supposed to be doing our brain dumps. We're supposed to be writing down all the things that we're supposed to be doing. But I want you to pause for a second, because most people are not actually creating a schedule. They're just reacting to one. How many of you guys can relate to that? You're just reacting to everything that you have written down for the week. You're reacting to all the appointments, everything in your life that is pulling you around. Most people do not plan their week. They just document those obligations that they are required to do. You know, those meetings, showing up to work, the kids' football games, doctor's appointments. You know, those are the things that we write down in our schedule or in our planner. And those are the obligations that we have to show up for, because we said we're going to show up for. And so they open their planner and start filling it with already has claimed their time. All of the things that have been pulling on you, asking you, can you show up here? People asking you, can they pick your brain? The appointments, the meetings, the deadlines, all of the things. While the things that really matter, your CEO time, is not being written down in that planner. Yeah, we want to be entrepreneurs full time. We want to leave that full time job. We are either part time entrepreneurs and we're trying to replace that income. But if we do not get a hold of that planner right now, guess what? It's going to be out of control, and we're never going to get to the place where we're making CEO money. Now, and while those things are important, the things, the doctor's appointments, and all the things that you are writing down, it is not the same as CEO planning. CEO planning does not start with, what do I have to do this week? CEO planning starts with, what do I need this week to produce? And that's a different mindset. And I'm going to say that one more time for you guys who are listening in and who are part-time and full-time entrepreneurs who want to be the CEO, the boss, and bring in that CEO income to match where they're at. I said CEO planning starts with, what do I need this week to produce? What do I want this week to accomplish? What needs do I need to take care of in order to move my business forward? What needs to be built? What needs to be sold? What needs to be protected? What needs to be stopped? What needs to stop taking all of my time so that I can focus on these things? Your schedule should not just be a place where everybody else needs gets dumped and written down. And a lot of times when we open up our planner, we see everybody else's things, but we don't see the things that we need to do. your schedule should receive instructions from you, as opposed to the schedule giving you instructions as to what you're supposed to do. So this week, I want you to stop asking the calendar what you should be doing. What is already supposed to be done is already there. But I need for you to start telling your calendar, this is what I need you to do. This is how I need you to show up. This is the cash that I need for you to make this week. So I am going to help you guys today, and I am going to help you to start telling your calendar what to do by taking you step by step as to how to build out your day. A lot of people say, you know what? I have quit that job. I have the time. I'm in my business. I'm about my business. Yes, I get to do it. And then the first day comes and we're like, okay, where do I start? All right, you know what? I'm gonna take care of all the things that I didn't get a chance to take care of while I was working. I'm gonna get my go to all my doctor's appointments. I'm gonna take care of this. I'm gonna take care of that. We do not sit down and really look at what our day should look like as a new entrepreneur or a CEO. I need you to build out your day. I need you to focus. I need you to follow up. I need you to create content. I need you to make money. I even need you to rest. But most of all, I need you to be the CEO of your business. Because if you only show up for the urgent things or the things that you have put down in your schedule, all the things that is going to bring you cash flow, is going to be sitting there waiting to go. Why? Because you're going to be just doing things day by day, thinking that those are the things that is going to bring you what the income that you need for your business. And I say this because I see a ton of entrepreneurs who not only want to leave their job, but have actually left their job, or their job have left them, as I said, their job left them in the woodworks. And then they start this business and they're like, okay, I just need to get this product out there. Then they get that product out there. Then they're like, okay, you know what? It's the next thing. I need to get the next product out there. No strategic plan, no mapping out, listening to everybody tell them what they should be doing. Oh, you don't have a job right now, so you should be doing this. When are you going to start looking for a job? When are you going to do that? When are you going to do this? Totally distracting you from what you need to do. I need for you guys to really look at what you're doing with your time. I need you to just stop only documenting the obligations that you have and really get into the reflection of how is money going to be made this week. And as we go through this Plansational Sunday, I have took the time to set up a little bit of a checklist, a dashboard, and that is why I ask you guys to grab your pen and paper. If you're watching this on replay, go ahead and pause right here. Go ahead and grab that pen and paper, because we're going to get into the nitty gritty of why you don't see that income flowing in, why you feel so overwhelmed, why you feel like you're putting things out there, but you're not getting results. I created this one thing, I wrote this, I made this, I designed this course, but yet the money is not coming in. And then we hop to the next thing. So it's not about those things on your checklist that you think you should be doing. I'm going to show you the things that I know you should be doing in order to grow your business. So let's go ahead and go over to the dashboard that I created. And I want you guys to kind of flow with me so that you know exactly what it's like to build your CEO week. And so the first thing that I want to kind of lean into is a conversation that I've had with plenty of business owners, and that is understanding the difference between working on your business versus working in your business. You need both. But if you only work in your business, you will always feel tired and overwhelmed, triggered by certain things. And a lot of times when we look at that, we think that we're working on our business and working in our business. But what I find is that most people spend more time in it than on it. So let's take a look at what in it looks like versus on it. And I want you to ask yourself a real question. when you're planning out your day, do you block out time for the in time and the on time? Okay, so what is in your business? In your business means that you're serving your clients, you're delivering, you're showing up, you're doing client calls, you're doing speeches, you're on a stage, you're running a workshop, you're meeting with someone, you're answering messages, text message, you're creating deliverable things, like lead magnets and courses. You're posting manually, you're going to your Facebook page, you're putting things out there, you're creating content as it's coming to you, you are doing admin work, appointments, anything that requires you to really work in keeping the business going, right? So showing up, that's your showing up piece. So right now I am working in my business because I am showing up on a live. And a lot of people may say, well, no, you're working on your business because you're building. No, I'm actually in it right now. And so understanding what the two is. Now, when we start talking about the on your business part, that is the work that builds the future. That is your evergreen work. And a lot of times when I go through a day in the life of an entrepreneur and I'm listening to what they say that they're doing, I see a lot of in, but not on. So that is building your systems, building what we call funnels. I really don't care for that word. It is your customer experience. It's your customer journey. It is how your customer finds you, connects with you, grow with you, and eventually buys from you. It is creating those email sequences. It's actually creating the I know I said in is lead magnets, but it's actually designing that lead magnet and putting it out there so that people can actually find you. It's your evergreen content. It's your offers. It is reviewing your money and your matrix. And a lot of people don't. They know how much money they need for the month, right? Oh, my rent is this, my car note is this, my insurance is this, and these are the things that I have to pay. But they have not reviewed how that money is going to come in, or they will fixate on that one thing and say, hey, this is how I'm going to bring in money this week, and no backup plan, no evergreen plan, nothing really in place. And then it's also designing your weekly rhythm, which is what we're going to do today. You have to have a flow and rhythm each and every week. And this is what's so interesting to me as an entrepreneur. Most of us worked 9 to 5 jobs where we had schedules. We clocked in, we clocked out, we got to work, and we were really highly productive. We got the job done. A lot of us got the job done with ease. A lot of us got the job done without even thinking twice about it. So why is it that when we're on our own and we are building out our day, we don't build it as a replica of when we work for someone? We stop CEOing, being the CEO of our time. We actually need a micromanager at that point when we wanted to get away from micromanagement. And now what are we doing? We are just going with the flow, as we say. But my friend, we have to stop going with the flow. We have to look at our schedule and look at what it looked like when we worked that 9 to 5 job, having those matrix, having those productivity goals. We can't just be out here just willy-nilly in it and thinking that we are going to get the results that most big CEOs get. So I need you to really look and ask yourself, how much of in versus on are you doing each and every day? All right. So this is the part that a lot of people struggle with, and I'm going to spend some time here. The days should have themes, and I am so big on theme days. Why? Because Monday should be something, Tuesday you should be doing something, Wednesday, because when you create that flow, you start seeing your results and you start seeing the consistency in your schedule, as opposed to saying, okay, I'm gonna work on this day. All right, what didn't I get done yesterday? Okay, I'm gonna work on it tomorrow. And then we really don't see the results at the end of the week because those days are not really focused on driving us to the end of what we set out to do. So when we have that ongoing long to-do list, we just go until it gets done. And then it's like, okay, I didn't get this done today, and it moves to the next day. But we have to have a little bit of a different flow when we are managing our business. So You have to get down to every hour of the day. We have to look at what it looks like for full-time versus part-time. And again, I made this to kind of show you guys exactly what a full-time schedule looks like versus a part-time schedule. So if you are a full-time CEO, full-time entrepreneurs, who you don't have a 9 to 5, a funding source, I want you to type in the chat full-time. If you are a part-time CEO, and I say part-time, I don't even like the word side hustle, because if you're building something, your intention is to build it to get away from that 9 to 5 funding source, right? You want to replace it with even more, or replace it with the income that you need to be able to stand out on your own. So you're either full-time or you're a part-time CEO. And the way that you function as a full-time CEO versus a part-time CEO is totally different. Why? Because you're showing up to a funding source to be able to bring in the money to be able to keep that business going. And at some point it should swap. And we'll talk a little bit about that on another Plansational Sunday in details. But when you first start your business, your funding source is supposed to take care of your bills and fund your tools that you need to be able to run your business. Then slowly the funding source is supposed to slowly start pulling away from funding that business, and that business should be able to fund itself. It should start making money so it can pay its own bills. Then the money that you used to use from your funding source and pour in your business, you should put that into savings. Why? Because you're saving money on the back end so that you can exit from that funding source. Then what you want to do is grow that business in the part-time to start bringing in more money than you make from your funding source. That doesn't mean that you walk away from the funding source as of yet. So at some point, your business should take care of you, your paycheck, your payroll. It should take care of its business needs in order for it to function and flow. And then it should have a little bit at the bottom line to put into your business savings. What that funding source should be doing for you at that point is to be 100% personal savings. And you can also borrow from yourself and give your business a loan if it needs it, but it should be 100% personal savings, so that when you exit off of that funding source and you start working in your business, you do not have to take a pay cut or a payroll as big as you need in some months that may be a little bit slower. You can rely on the savings that you have. And that's all about strategic planning if you have a funding source. If you have a part-time funding source and you're a full-time CEO, that part-time funding source should be just paying your personal bills so that you do not have to take a personal cut from the business. And so a lot of us get this thing confused, and 100% of what we make as a business owner, we're using that to pay all of our bills. That's not a business owner. You should be putting that money into a business account and drawing payroll off of it. And if you cannot pay all your business bills and all the things that you need for that business, you cannot take a full payroll cut like that, because your business can't stay afloat or can't stay function. Profit first. You have to make a profit first so that you can pay yourself. And that's your signs that it's time for you to exit. Meanwhile, if you have to, you may have to get a part-time funding source or something like that, or a full-time client that is paying you for you to pay attention to their business only until you build that part of your business. So that's the difference between part-time and CEO, and it's a little bit of going into the money part. And some of you guys need to hear that. A lot of people are like, I'm not going back. You don't have to go back to work, but you got to find something, because if not, your business will tank because you don't have the income that you need in order to float the tools. I know big CEOs that had to go and work at Target, Walmart, Starbucks, whatever they needed to do to keep that business afloat. But once that business started making that money, guess what? They took off. They went to the next level. So let's take a look at a CEO schedule. and in the theme days. All right, so first we're gonna look at the week and the themes, and then I'm gonna break it down and show you what that should look like in within each hour. Okay, so I'm gonna break it down each day. So first, let's look at the days. On Mondays on your planner, that could be your CEO Monday Day and Matrix Day. That is for you to start the week looking at your numbers. Yes, you have to look at your numbers. You're the CEO. CEOs do not just be going on him like, okay, I got to make money this week. They know how much they have to make. They know what goals they have to hit for the particular week. They set those goals for their business. Now, setting financial goals for your household and all that is one thing, but setting financial goals for your business so that you can get a paycheck is so important. So you need to start the week looking at your numbers. What happened last week? What do you have to do this week? What do you have to sell this week? What do you need to put out there in order to generate income? All right. So then on Tuesdays, let's talk about batch contenting, having a batch day so that you're seen and building authority. And on those batch days, you're doing more than creating content for that current thing that you're promoting, which could be a workshop. It could be a conference. It could be a series or a program that you're running right now, but you're also creating content for that evergreen stuff that you have created. And we're going to talk about that in just a second, but you need to have a day set aside for content. That may be Monday. You may switch these days, but in your schedule, you need to have these days. I tell you now, Monday is my CEO day. It is when I really focus on what needs to get done for the week. I spend time, mapping out and maybe even creating some of the emails that will go out to drive me in money. But on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, those are usually my content creation days. But you need to put this in your schedule. To say, oh, I'm working on this today and you didn't create any content for the week, that's a problem. Because what you're creating is going to die really soon if you do not create a way to become visible. All right. All right. Oh, I see some people are live this morning. Welcome, 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 Christina. All right. If I have fathers on here, happy Father's Day before I get too far in. All right. Marcus, he is a full-time CEO. So yes, so drop in the chat if you're full-time or if you're part-time so that I know exactly where you're at in your business. All right. So on Wednesdays, I try to lean into deliverabilities and client work. So if you guys don't know, I do a lot of consulting and coaching on both the early childhood side and the entrepreneur side. So I actually have 2 days that I do deliverables. I have days that I meet with my clients and I have days that I work on the things that I said I was going to deliver to them. And you mean, what do you mean by deliverables? I mean, sometimes I am creating funnels and landing pages. Sometimes I'm creating like tech for schools. Sometimes I'm creating walkthroughs or I'm creating marketing materials. Sometimes I am creating checklists or trainings. Whatever it is that I told my client that I'm going to deliver, I have to have time in my schedule. I'm not doing that every single day, because there is time to work on deliverables, but there is also time that I have to spend working on the things that's going to keep my business flowing. So you may have a Wednesday and a Friday that you're doing deliverables and breakdown time. But if you can lean in as a new CEO and just block off one day to do deliverables and focus on that and do client work, it is going to make your day flow a lot better. I started off with just one day, then I ended up doing 2, the more clients that I began to have. Then on Thursdays, you have to spend time on your evergreen stuff. Something that works for you in the background. You have to have something. If you do not have a free funnel sitting out there, and I'm not talking about just what you currently have, the course that you have, the membership that you have, the workshop that you have coming up. I am talking about something that anybody who search whatever your topic is can find and download something. Get on your list, download something and get at least 7 to 10 emails, and then have an offer at the end of those 7 to 10 emails before they even get invited to the thing that you currently have right now. Then you do not have an evergreen product. Your current product that you're selling is not what's evergreen. And I need to break that down for you again. What you're currently selling is not evergreen. You have to intentionally put things in the atmosphere, in the SEO, in the algorithm of things that can work, make money for you without you being present. And I'm going to tell you, people, I have done cash on replay workshop. I've done a DigiBoss workshop, and I've told people the importance of this, but yet they still work on current stuff. And then when that thing is over, they have to create something else because they never took time in their schedule to build out something that was evergreen. Give you an example of something that's evergreen. If you sit down and create a 3-day challenge or a 4-day challenge and somebody opts into it and they watch the videos, that is something that they can do. They can have an upsell without you, and then they will go through a welcome sequence where they would get to know you a little bit better, have some other videos available for them, and it may take you 2 to 3 weeks to put it out, but it must be done in your business. Otherwise, you're going to be constantly creating, constantly making stuff, constantly coming out with new products, and never making money on the back end. This has to be built into your schedules. All right. So then Fridays can be your operation and follow-up day. This is where you may follow up with clients. This is when I call chasing the bag, chasing the money. Hey, you sent me a message earlier this week. I just want to wrap around to see where we're at in that. I go and clean up some of the operational things that I have. This is a day that I may pick up on some of my client work as well, since I'm already in the office working on operational things. And then Saturdays usually can be your optional family day. But if you are going to work once a month on a Saturday, twice a month on a Saturday, that should be the day that you are either batch content creating, hosting an event, or doing something that is really extravagant or nice for your business. Most Saturdays for me, Saturday is a work day for me in the morning time because I do workshops on Saturdays. I do tons of teacher workshops, super Saturdays, in-person workshops, all of that. And I'm going to tell you now, when you first start your business, you may have to work 7 days a week, but you need to look at cutoff times so that you are not burned out during the first couple of months of being a CEO or as you're rebooting. Some of you guys have maybe been a full-time CEO for a long time, but it's time to reboot and get on a serious schedule. And that's where that flex comes in. And then Sundays, most Sundays, I am off. I do teach workshops on Sunday, and off meaning that I don't have to go anywhere like outside of the house. But I do Plansational Sunday at 5 o'clock in the morning. Why? Because it gets my mind right and gets me ready for the upcoming week as I'm preparing you for the upcoming week. So this is the time that I look at what I need to do for the week. I check with my family, make sure things are good. This is the time that I kind of relax and wind down. Now, there are some Sundays that are a little bit more intense for me because I'm working on a project or I'm trying to get something complete. But usually my Saturdays and Sundays, I have that flex time to be able to enjoy some of the things that I love to do. So what does that look like if I expand it to the hourly schedule? So you say, okay, Mondays I'm working on this CEO stuff. What does that actually look like? So here is a sample schedule. So you may start your day at 8:30 in the morning. So you may start off with your mindset, your prayer. I do the miracle morning every single morning. Then in the morning you do your money review. Then you look at your matrix and your leads. Then you may take a break, and then you come back and you set your priorities. You look at your CEO block that we're going to talk about, and you make sure that you're doing things in your CEO block. Then you may have lunch, get you some rest, and then you may do your promo setup or offer, go into your inbox, check emails, update them, and then about 4 o'clock you can close the day. When you're intentional and you wake up early in the morning, you can get done with things at a decent hour, and then you may pick them up in the afternoon. But these are some samples of what the day look like. So what would a Tuesday look like if it's a batch content day? So you are planning the content, you can batch write the content, you rest, get yourself together, then you take time for like an hour and a half when you're fresh and ready to record everything. Now, I'm gonna tell you this, I like to plan out the content, and then on my batch recording day, I like to sit down and just record it out. Just like read over it, see what I got to talk about, and then go forward. So, That's what I like to do for my recording. Then I go back, get me some rest, get my eyeballs together, because guess what? Now I got to edit. And so editing tools are so important, so that you can get these things out there and ready to be delivered. And then usually when I'm doing this on Tuesday, it's not for the current week, it's for the next week, if that makes sense. I'm not editing and creating content for the week that I'm in because it was already done the week before. I'm creating and editing things for the upcoming week. So you got to take time to follow this schedule so you can get ahead. All right. And then, of course, when it's client work day, I am doing my deep client work early in the morning, especially if I'm designing and creating, because sometimes if it's late in the evening, I can get stuck and things will start happening. And then I do my calls and sessions in the morning time, during the midday, throughout the day, even into the evening. This is when I go in and check on my community, check on what's going on. A lot of times I'll follow up with people, send them messages, check my WhatsApp, check my school community, check my, all the things during this time. And then on Thursday, when I'm talking about evergreen, I'm building out things that I can put in the background and the systems to go with it on that day. Okay. When I release something that's evergreen, it's because I probably worked on it 2 Thursdays in a row. I'm running ads behind it. I'm putting it out there for the people to see. And guys, if you don't have this in place, I'm telling you, you need it so bad. Then on my operations day and follow-up day, this is when I do a lot of my email inbox cleanup, follow up with people again. I go into my CRM, make sure I made the money that I said I was going to make sure I got those sales from those evergreen products. I really kind of look at what I've won at, my to-done list, the things that I got done and I won at for the week. And so in this, you guys can take a shot. I am going to share this inside of my Passionpreneur community. So if you're not in the Passionpreneur community, go ahead and join the Passionpreneur community. It's absolutely free. That is where I'm going to be putting this whole interactive book with for you there. So what if you're a part-time CEO? Part-time CEOs, you're working full time. I know, anywhere from 8 to 10 hours. And the reason why I say 8 to 10 hours, because even if you're working an 8-hour day, it takes you time to get to and from work. So it's 8 to 10 hours most of the time. So the way I have it broken down is like on Mondays, you're going to spend 30 minutes. And then you're going to spend about 2 hours on Tuesday. You can swap your Tuesday for a Friday or a Saturday or a day that you're off. But this is just to give you a little bit of an understanding of what your day should look like. So of course, the beginning of the week, we got to check our money as part-time. Check that calendar, make sure that you're blocking off time to get the things done, making sure you're focusing on your top 3 things for the week. You don't want your to-do list to be too long. Why? Because you're going to work and you have to work around. A lot of times when I did my CEO time, I would do it at lunchtime because I had an hour lunch break. I would take 30 minutes on my lunch to eat and the other 30 minutes to work on my CEO check-in to make sure that I had my plans together for the entire week. Then on Tuesday, if you know that, Tuesday is not a good day at work for you, Wednesday is a better day for you, then do Wednesday. But what you want to do is pick a day after work where you're going to feel good and energized to come home, get ready, and batch that content for an hour to an hour and a half. Pick your topics, get your mics on. If you have to on Monday, set your camera up the night before. Do what needs to get done so that you can come home and get the content. Content is so key. It is your marketing tool. Unless you're going to hit the streets and you're going to be doing grassroots marketing and meeting people and going to networking, which most likely you won't be able to do because you're at work doing networking time, this is where you are going to get your marketing done. Anytime I flip through somebody's schedule and I say, hey, tell me what you did this week, and content ain't in it, I already know they're not making money. I already know. Besides the money that they're already making, they're not getting new money in. Because they're not marketing. They're not getting the message out there. All right. Then Wednesday, 30 minutes follow up. This could be done on your lunch break time. This could be, hey, I'm going to get up early Wednesday mornings. I don't have to be to work until 8 o'clock. I'm going to get up at 5 o'clock and I am going to start warming my DMs. I'm sort of getting back with people, following up with things. And then I may do 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes on my lunch break, and then 15 minutes in the afternoon. As long as you are laying that foundation and doing the work and following up with people, that is what's going to close the gap between you having to be at that funding source all day and having to being able to work your business full time. Then again, you're the main one that need evergreen build. So you need to intentionally spend about an hour to an hour and a half building that out. Building that out. You want to make sure that if you're going to work and you're working for somebody else, you got money working for you in the background. As soon as you start your business, you have to have something that is making money for you while you're at work. So pick that one thing. Think about how it needs to be built out. Buy the system that needs to go with it. Use some money from that funding source to pay whatever you need to pay a month to get that business done. Because at least you have something to create content for. At least you have something working for you. At least you have funding source money to run those ads that needs to be ran so that you can get those things done. Hello, 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 and welcome to Plansational Sunday. All right. And then on Fridays, you want to make sure that you're following up on invoices, recapping those numbers, because sometimes when you have a funding source, we kind of let sometimes the invoices slip because we already have money coming in. And that can happen if that's not a part of your schedule. Following up. I think that when we're full-time entrepreneurs, we are like on the money because we need that money, right? If you pay your invoice, you pay it on, I'm going to follow up. But sometimes when we have a funding source, those things get pushed to the back burner and we have to be intentional about that. And that was something that I did during my lunch break time because I knew that businesses were going to be still open. People were going to be checking their email during that time. I could follow up. I could call them as opposed to waiting till I got off from work, because I knew when I got off at 7 o'clock, a lot of things were going to be closed. And so you can build your plan into the day. Now on Saturdays and Sundays, if you're off, if your Saturday is really Monday, if your Saturday is really Thursday, you're going to flip this around. And this is where we're going to do the deep work. This is where we're going to really get into building and creating. This is where we're going to actually think about what projects or what things we need to create. Oh, I have a comment in here. Sorry, I was checking the comments. So what things do you need to create for the upcoming week? So we need to really get into looking at our Saturday schedule to make sure that we are doing all the things that we didn't get done. And then, of course, we do want to spend time to reset on Sunday and look at our itinerary for the week, focus on what things we need to prep for. Prep on Sunday is going to be key to my part-time people. So if you're a full-time CEO, I showed you what that schedule looked like. If you're a part-time CEO, I showed you what that schedule kind of looks like. And you need to take the time and ask yourself, does your week flow like this? Does your week flow like this? And that's what we're talking about, Rami. We're talking about planning out your week as a full-time CEO versus a part-time CEO and how important it is to build those hours out in order for cash to flow into your pocket. All right. So now back to our evergreen for the week, because we're going to block time to do evergreen stuff this week, right? If you're going to block time to do evergreen stuff this week, drop evergreen in the comments, because I'm telling you guys, you're missing out on this. So when I say evergreen, ask yourself, what part of the evergreen do you need to do? Do you need to do a lead magnet? Many of you guys who know me already have a lead magnet because we created that in the Passionpreneur community so long ago. So maybe you need to do a free training as your lead magnet, record it and put it out. Maybe you want to do a new lead magnet that's a free training. Or is it the email sequence that is the problem? Do you have that lead magnet, the person opts in and they get it, and then that's it? That's the end. Get my freebie. And then they disappear. You know, like you disappear. You don't even follow up with them. Or is it that you have the lead magnet, you have the download to collect their information, you have 3 emails in work, but then you don't have an upsell? Okay, so what stage are you in? And so if you're in the stage where you need to do a sales page, a checkout page, and a mini offer, like that type of thing, then that has to happen. Otherwise, you'll be building your list while you're at work, but you won't be making money or sales. Okay. Do you have a product? Do you need to create a replay product? What I mean by a replay product is things that no matter when somebody finds it, they can watch it, learn from it, and grow from it. Or do you need to build a resource library? Or do you want to create a certain automation? Do you want to create a content bank? Just depending on what it is you do. But you need to be somewhere in here this week doing one or two of these things. To grow. And for most of you guys, I know it's the email sequence because you have not invested in the right system to be able to grow that. So here is the hard, down and dirty checklist that we have to go through for the week. You have to ask yourself these questions. And so what I want you guys to do is, number one, ask yourself the questions about the money. What was sold last week in your business? What did not sell in your business? What do you have out in the universe that you created that did not sell? And I guarantee it didn't sell because you weren't promoting it. Who needs a follow-up? Who actually offered you to, requested for you to do services, but you didn't even follow up with them? That DM is still sitting there. That email is still sitting there. All right. What is my money goal for this upcoming week? And what offers am I really leading people to? How much money do you really want to make this week? And does the products that you've been promoting and put out there equal to the money that you want to bring in? You can't say that you want to bring in $10,000 this week, but you only have a $1 product that's out there, unless you're going to hit 10,000 people for that $1. So you really have to do your hard money check. Then we're going to do a calendar check, right? And so look at your calendar and ask yourself, where am I already committed? Look at the spaces and what is filling up that space? Is it things that are going to help you as a person grow or help your business grow? Where do I need CEO blocks? Where do you need to block off time to focus on your CEO roles? Where do I need rest? Are you really taking a lunch break? Because you would if you were working a 9-to-5 job growing somebody else's business. Are you going to bed at night? Are you getting rest? Are you taking vitamins? Are you drinking enough water? And ask yourself, where am I overwhelming myself? Where is it too much? Maybe you need to get off of other platforms. Maybe you need to stop scrolling on, doing the doom scroll on Instagram and Facebook because it's just so much information. Okay? And what can be moved and what can be deleted and what can be delegated? And I know at first you have nobody to delegate things to. I know. In your business, but it's other stuff outside of your business that you need to start delegating so that you can put that time back into your workday. Okay, now your content check. All right, one teaching post, one behind the scenes story post, one authority building post, one offer, one connection post or conversational post, one email to your list for the week, and one short form video or live topic. Like, we have to be consistent when it comes to these things. If you want to build and grow, like if you've already got the list, if you've already got the people, then okay. But if you're looking for more, you have to do the work. And I know I don't want to turn on the camera. I don't want to post another thing. I don't want to do, but you have to in this season. Because that is what's going to take your business to levels that you couldn't even imagine. All right. Then we're going to do our evergreen check. All right. Evergreen check. I want you guys to pick one thing, either training, lead magnet, one thing, and build it out. Build it out. If you need support on building your evergreen product, just go ahead. You can send me a direct message. I do a 15-minute free consultation where I will walk you through the plan, help you with the idea, give you support in that area, just because you're live here with me. And so you have to have that evergreen product this week. Then, have you done your follow-up check-ins? Have you done discovery calls for the week? Have you invited people to play with you? Have you invited people to be a part of your community? Have you invited people to do the thing? Have you sent out the links to people? Have you looked in your CRM to see who you need to be tracking and following up with? Have you checked your DMs? Have you checked your comments? Where's it at? Where's that? So we have to do that if we want to make the money. Then we want to make sure that we are getting things to people as we promise, making sure that we're updating our courses, we're giving our community support, we're replying to emails and questions and upcoming trainings and fulfilling the deadlines that we have set with the things that we said we were going to deliver. I love putting a date on things and saying, hey, this is the date that I'm going to put this out there. And letting the world know, hey, I'm going to let you know next week when this is going to be available to you. Because when we put a date on it and we let people know that day, then we have that feeling of being obligated to show up on that date and deliver those things. Marcus, I got you. Just go ahead and send me a message and I will definitely send you my booking link so that you can set up a time with me. All right. And then your system check. What do you have the templates in place? Do you have the forms and checklists in place? Do you have the welcome message, the automation, the content flow, the keyword flow? Do you have that in place? Do you have your client onboarding steps together, the onboarding videos? And so are your systems in place? And this is a time, guys, mid-year. We have 6 months left in the year. In actually 90 days, you could be so far along if you follow the checklist and follow the schedule. You could 10x where you're at right now if you created a flow and you stuck to it. But a lot of us just get stuck in the system and we just every day is going by and we just can't catch up. We just can't get a hold. Then we spend all day focusing on one thing and the next day we're just resting. And then we're like, okay, on to the next thing. We're just in this spiral that is out of control. But we have to get back to the basics and we have to do the things that we need to do. Then are you reflecting as a CEO? And asking yourself, what felt heavy? What's not good for me? What made me money? What created chaos and I don't need to do it anymore? What can be simplified? What am I doing because everybody else is doing it and it has no reason or no rhyme to it? It just don't make no sense. Like, you have to reflect on these things. There's things that I've cut out of my life and I thought was great, but I'm like, girl, what are you doing? Absolutely not. This is not productive. Yes, people like it and they enjoy it, but it's not moving you forward in the goals that you have set. It's not doing the thing for you. All right. And so I'm going to ask you a couple of CEO questions and I want you guys to write these questions down or take a picture of my screen or screenshot it and ask yourself these questions. What already has a claim on my time? Appointments, meetings, deadlines. What's claiming your time? What's keeping you from doing a thing? What's keeping you from creating the content? For real. Come here. Let me ask you. What's keeping you from doing it? Well, what you really doing? Write it down. What do I need this week to produce? This week, I need my business to produce what? What do you need it to produce? What results do you need from your schedule? I know the results that I need from my schedule. And in order to get those results, what do you need to build? Okay. So, what results? Let's say your results for this week is going to be, let's keep it small, $1,500. Let's say right here, you have family and, just work, busyness. I'm going to put busyness. in that. All right. And then let's say I want to produce. So what do I need to build? Well, in order to build that maybe I need to build a sales funnel, or as I call it, a customer journey. Okay. What needs to be sold? Okay, I gotta sell 20 units or 20 courses or mini courses. Let's say mini courses. Bring that number down because 20 would be way more than $1,500. Let's just say 10 mini courses. All right. What needs to be followed up on? Well, email my list because it's cold. All right. What needs to be protected? Oh my God. What needs to be protected? My filming time. My filming time needs to be protected because every time I'm about to film something, I'm always about to pop off. Okay. What needs to stop taking over my time? Last minute people. People just calling and wanting things at the last minute. All right. And when I talked about your 3 blocks as a CEO, look at your schedule. What day and time are you going to block out for content? I'm going to do mine on Tuesday and Thursday from 10 to 1. And then evergreen, I'm going to do that on Wednesday from 10 to 12. And then money follow up, getting paid. I'm going to do that on Wednesday and Friday at 11 a.m. All right. All right. And so then you can do your CEO reset as to what worked for you. What worked for me this past week was staying on schedule. Why? Because I made my schedule. What felt heavy for me this week is too many emails. All right. What made money? My consulting services. Okay. What created leads? My lives and free workshops. Okay. And what needs to be simplified? Maybe my welcome flow. Okay. And what am I carrying that doesn't belong in this season? Whew, that is a good question. Okay. Meetings that are not scheduled. That is what I'm carrying. And so after I finish this, and you guys are going to get a copy of this inside of the Passionpreneur community, then it's going to build the plan for you. You guys are going to be able to print that out so that you can follow it for this week. It's going to have your weekly theme days, your schedule, based on if you're full-time. It's going to have that, your checklist on there, all of those things that you need in order for you to build out your schedule. So what I want you guys to understand today, yes, this Plansational Sunday was a little bit more detailed, but if you do not stop just documenting the things that you're obligating and not blocking out time to get these CEO things done, your business is not going to grow. It will grow when you direct your time, when your content has purpose, when your offer has like a path to go down, when your systems support the capacity of the money that you really want to bring in, it will grow. And that's why I'm giving you guys instructions on how to plan this Sunday so that your week is set up right. And when your week is set up right, your mind starts to really flow into, you know what? I'm going to hit these goals for the week. I have a plan for the week. I feel like this is my job. This is the thing that I do. I am going to get results from this. And if you're not taking it serious, you're not going to get the money that you are hoping for. it is imperative that you guys get on track, that you start really looking at your schedules and saying, okay, this is my schedule. I'm going to post it. I'm not taking anything outside of this schedule. These are the results that I'm going to be getting from it. If not, then you are going to be so lost. And like one of my people say, lost in the sauce. And that's not what we want. That's not what we want. And so this week, I want you guys to say that I am going to be the CEO. I'm going to be the CEO of my business. I'm going to be the CEO of my schedule. I'm going to be the CEO of my plans. I am going to make whatever your number is this week. I'm going to get whatever your number is, new clients on my list. I am going to grow my email by so many people so that you are not there just thinking like, oh my God, this business is not working. I'm not going to succeed. I'm ready to give up. We got to do the work. All right. So let's close it out with our affirmation. If you will repeat after me, I am the architect of my time. You say it. With every hour, I build my dreams. My plans has purpose. My schedule has power. I craft my life. One aligned decision, one bold move, one brilliant hour at a time. I want to thank you guys so much for spending time with me on this Plansational Sunday, getting your schedule together. I really hope that you walked away with some tools that will help you to build out your day, give you some ideas of why you may be stuck in your business, why you haven't been able to leave that full-time job as of yet. And so with that, so if you have not already, please join us on Facebook and our free Passionpreneur community. Again, join us on Facebook inside of our free Passionpreneur community, and there you will find a link this week to that whole checklist that I created to help you kind of figure out what your schedule should look like for the upcoming week. Again, thank you so much. I am Dr. Carolyn Bobb-Green, and as always, I look forward to training you to succeed in your business. Have a nice day.